terms of the types of projects, there is obviously a whole bunch of things, and I talked about this a second ago. What do I focus on? Residential, commercial, or any other combination? It really doesn't matter. And one thing that would be really good for you guys to do, I teach a commercial class on Saturday mornings for another company, and I always have the people look at this website here. So go to www.small-biz-network.com, and that didn't look good. smallbiznetwork.com. Okay, and this is actually a very small brokerage, United Country Real Estate. They actually, they're nationwide. You will run across them. If you've ever looked at commercial deals on LoopNet, you'll see a lot of them are through United Country. They deal more specifically with rural properties. But what I tell my commercial clients is, when we talk commercial, obviously you've heard that commercial's the next bust. Stay away from commercial because it's the next crash that's coming. Are there good opportunities in commercial? Heck yeah. Especially in some of those niches like we're talking about with mobile home parks, mini storage, and things like that. People are losing their houses. Where are they putting their junk? They got to put it into storage. And then they're moving into smaller housing, mobile homes. So that's part of the portfolio we're getting right now. Mobile home parks with mini storage, and has a few office spaces which we're not really excited about. But if they're bringing in some cash flow, then we'll take it. Or we'll just sell them off if we have to. But what this does is it kind of broadens people's perspective. Because if I just said commercial right now, what are you thinking, Phil? Just off the top of your head.
Hospital.
Hospital?
Just popped in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people think like office condos, retail strip malls. That's kind of the commercial you see when you're out running around. The commercial glass office buildings, warehouse space, stuff like that. And they don't understand that there's a whole bunch of different types of properties you can get involved with. And if we just go through this list, there's some cool stuff here. Now, my background is in hotels, motels, bed and breakfast. Had a client a few years back. They owned a bed and breakfast on the Oregon coast. They ran it for 11 years, had a vacant lot next door to it. After they had paid down the mortgage a little bit, they broke off the lot, took the cash from that lot, and they bought a half acre with a villa on it on the Caribbean coast in Mexico. So they live on the Caribbean in Mexico during the winter, and in the summer they move back up to the Oregon coast, live in their bed and breakfast on the Oregon coast. That's a pretty cool life, if you ask me. I mean, if you can do it. Does that sound like something you may want to do at some point? Possibly. They've got the ability to do it. Why? Because they got into one transaction, one deal, and now they've got a lifestyle like most people only dream about off of one transaction. So again, going back to the beginning, do we have to master 300 different techniques of dealing with real estate? No. You may be completely retired off of one or two projects. And that's it. That's how simple this stuff can be. And we don't have time to do it today, but I usually do a class on how to get you to a point of financial independence within a year and show you how, even if you lost everything, if you lost your credit, all your cash, if everything was destroyed and you're 40, 45 years old, you could still be retired in probably 10 years or less. I mean, you could be retired in 1 year, but very, very realistic within 10 years. That's why I don't worry about anything. And it's amazing when you have that confidence based on what you know, that you can get to a point of financial independence at any time, regardless of your cash situation or your credit situation. All of a sudden, everything becomes easier, doesn't it? There's a lot of people out there freaking out because their retirement's going down. Because they're starting, what were those people saying on the video, right? When the investors came back and said your investment's been cut in half. Okay? If you don't have to worry about that, it gives your life a whole lot more sense of calm. Okay? So anyway, take some time when you go home, look up this site, just go through here, look at some of the property listings. You can run across vineyards and golf properties. I like the agricultural quite a bit, and I deal a lot with that just because of future development potential. And one of the pieces of land I bought, it was a 15-acre piece just on the outskirts of a town, and the intent was to buy it, keep the back 5, and then subdivide off acres as needed just for a retirement portfolio. So, 5 years goes by, 10 years goes by, you need 100 grand, pop off a half-acre lot or an acre lot, and you got 100 grand in your pocket. And how many years do you need to do that before you're dead? Not too many, right? So 15 acres and you've got 10 of them that you could break off every year or 2 years. Are you going to be okay? Yeah, you've got retirement off of one piece of ground. That's not a bad situation. And so there's a million things you can do. That's why I love the farms and orchards and things like that. My brother, he actually bought a house. We got a for sale by owner about a year ago. He was about 28, and I helped him get into his house. He was 40,000 in debt, just finished his master's program, and living in mom's basement a year ago, about a year and a half ago. And in September, a year and a half ago, we got him into this for sale by owner. They were just moving to South Carolina because he had a tech job. So the house needed some work, and they left $40,000 on the table. The house was worth $230. Let's see, no wait, $230. It needed about 20 grand in fix up, and he got it for $170. So he put the work into it. He's actually upgraded it beyond what it needed, and we've done a lot of the yard work. So he's sitting on about $60,000 in equity now. So his master's program's paid off, school debt gone, and he has money available to start a business or do whatever. He actually just went on his honeymoon last month off of his real estate money. I mean, how quick was that? 1 year? 1.5 years? The potential here is incredible. But the reason I brought that up is because the house, it was on a half acre and it had a greenhouse. It used to be a commercial property, and the greenhouse burned down, and that's why we got it at such a good value, because nobody wanted to deal with all the trash that was back there. It was melted fiberglass and like concrete and like major construction rubble. So we moved about 40 tons of concrete by hand last winter. Oftentimes till 2 in the morning. I mean, we were totally hossed up. It was amazing. But that's where you get your value, is finding weird situations like that. Okay? Now let's get back to, does anybody have any questions on this? Again, that kind of goes back to what we talked about before, right? Getting involved. Taking this a step further, instead of just looking at what types of properties you can do, what are you going to do now? Call on some. Say, hey, what's your dialogue when you call on these?
What's up?
What's up? What's going on here, right? It's a piece of cake. This stuff is like shooting fish in a barrel and nobody does it. Absolutely amazing.